Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. In this devlog, I'm going to be showing my journey in adding weather and seasons to my game Bun Bun Bouquets. This is a journey that has taken a long time, partially due to it being a lot of work and partially due to me getting overwhelmed very easily and always taking lengthy breaks in between working on things. I have a document or a file or whatever you want to call it, a save, that is not my main game, and I use that to make systems and try out ideas. I do this so I don't get lost in mixing systems and breaking stuff that's in my main game. And it's a cloud project, so I can work on it on my laptop or at my desk, and it can be like pretty much a mobile project. So if I want to work on something, I can just do it. So in this one, I made my weather and season stuff, which I actually worked on the weather a lot while at my friend's house because I was going to see them more often earlier in the year. And I brought my laptop and I would work on it and they would hear me rage at how it's not working, and it was a great time. But anyway, at the start of all this, I started learning how to add days that loop every 28 days, a number that's pretty common in cozy games. And I actually did a whole research thing into them and to see the length of months and days in games, like how many real life minutes is a day and how many days are in a season or a month or whatever in games. It was an interesting rabbit hole, but I ended up going with what is normal for cozy games, which is 28 days. Some things you just don't have to reinvent. But it was an interesting rabbit hole regardless, and now I see why 28 days is used. Which, in case you're curious why 28 days is used, is because it's an equal 7, and it feels weird having, instead of 28, 36. It just feels weird, so you have to stick with 28, because it feels more like a month, because February tends to have 28 days, so it feels kind of normal. After this, I learned how to get seasons to change. Both seasons and days were a lot to figure out. Not because the concept itself is hard, but I have learned that you might think something should be pretty simple because the concept is simple, but for every concept, there's 40 things that go behind that concept to make it work. I had made a long, complicated system that in theory made sense, but in practice it had a lot of bugs and didn't want to sync properly. I got help on a Discord and ended up making the season just a number, and if the season is equal to that number, then things happen, which was way easier than what I was doing. I had a whole switchboard system happening that was completely unnecessary. Next was weather, and I went through a lot of iterations of weather. I tried using particle effects, but it kept spawning leaves in random spots instead of purely from the top going down, which looked weird and I didn't like it. I tried other things. At this point, I don't remember what they were, but I know I've tried other things. I eventually gave up with all of those ideas, including the particle effects thing, so I did try that already. I didn't like it, and I eventually gave up with that idea, and I had to come up with something else. So what I came up with was a box that you can't see off the screen, and I made a lot of these boxes. Not so many that it slows down the game, just enough so that way you have something to work with. And I have a timer that picks a random one of these boxes and spawns an object that has physics and gravity. And that object will fall onto a long hitbox I have on the bottom of the screen that you cannot see, and it will delete so you don't get thousands of those objects piling up over time and slowing down your game. I also had it randomize the image for the weather effect so it's not so samey, and randomize the gravity per object. That way some things are faster, some things are slower, and it's not so artificial looking. As of right now, I have rain, snow, and falling leaves in autumn. I would like to maybe add lightning or thunder, but it's not a high priority right now. I also designated where weather belongs, like rain is in 3 out of 4 seasons, but snow will always be only in winter. Leaves are only in autumn. Other things I added was making the trees change color each season, which is pretty standard, but I also made it so the leaves will slowly change over time in autumn to be less and less leaves. And yet another thing, which I had to fight for a while, was to make it pick a random tree and play an animation for a leaf falling. I wanted to pick a random one because if they all do it at the same time, it feels simulated and fake. But if a random tree does it, it feels more natural. I also tried with sounds, but they fought back, so this is what I got done in my non-primary save.
3, 2, 1.
It has been a handful of months since I have worked on this, and I have been wanting to add seasons, but I wanted to get other things to work first. But then I finally figured, you know what, I want to do this, so I'm going to do it. And I also forgot I need seasons for the gardening system that I still haven't fixed, by the way. It is still broken. So let's do it, because I really need the seasons, or else how am I going to have it grow per season? I completely forgot that was a thing, so go me, I suppose. So the first thing I did is I had to redraw my trees that will do the season change and losing leaves over time. I could do losing leaves over time later, but I don't enjoy programming, and these little graphic things make me happy, so I need the dopamine somewhere. And once I had all of that, I made a new external event document in my main project. I made a small list in a book so I can remember all the things I need to do. And I copied and pasted the season system from the test file to the main file. Then changed the variables and objects as needed. Mostly I just had to create the variables, so I just named them the same thing. There's no reason to change them. But for objects I had to change it because, when you're testing stuff, you don't always name stuff the best. I got this to work pretty easy and remembered why I did certain things after I took some stuff out, thinking I didn't need it anymore. I absolutely did. I worked on this for a few hours and I was tweaking it and trying to get stuff to look alright. Okie dokie. I have added basic seasons. So I'm going to press my season hotkey. So summer, fall, winter, spring. And when you go to fall, every 7 days the tree will, I guess I'll say, deteriorates. Because leaves are falling. And then winter we have the snow. And in this corner, this changes depending on the season. And the days do in fact reset every time, which is great. For the toggle they stay the same, but yeah. Also, the day will change and change everywhere. And if I go to the end of the season, 28, and then I change the day, it will go to the next season from the other house, from the other scene. And after I got in the basic seasons, I then added weather, which took a couple of hours even with the pre-made code, because I have to account for other things that are in the game that are not in the prototype file. I use the same placeholder sprites I'm using in the prototype file for now. The only ones I can see myself really needing to change is the leaves, but I won't do that until I have all the trees made so I can match the colors of the leaves with the leaves falling, which I don't have those yet, so that's not going to happen for a little bit. Once I got the weather implemented, I had the UI change for what the weather is, as well as made sure it works from inside the house, which is a separate scene, and I've had a hard time getting scenes to talk to each other, so I'm really happy that it changes within the house as well. Other things I did was make the trees be animated regardless of sprite. Basically, this means no matter what stage the tree is in, it has a little animation every few seconds of the leaves twitching a little, just to make the world feel less flat. I also made a separate sprite for a pile of leaves to be at the base of the tree once the 14th of fall comes. This is one of those things that should wait until polish, but I need the serotonins after all the coding stuff, so I'm doing it anyway. And basically how this works is I have a point on the tree, and I made the origin point of the leaf pile in the center, and when it turns to be the 14th of fall, it will spawn at that point, and it will delete when it is winter. And this just adds a little bit of something when the leaves start to like be more noticeably off the tree. That is like, oh, that's nice. That's a nice little detail. So yeah, that was a fun little thing to do. I also made a falling leaf animation that spawns at a point on the tree, and once the leaf animation finishes, it deletes. And I use this for the random tree picking idea I had before. But this way, I don't have to animate it within the tree, so no matter what frame the trees happen to be on at the time, the animation of the falling leaf will just play, and it doesn't matter. So if it wants to spawn in between the leaf twitching animations and like the leaf starts twitching while the leaf is falling, it'll just be like a more random thing, which in life, things are very random, and it makes things look much more natural when there's a lot of randomness in nature. Something else I did, which was actually my boyfriend's idea, was I made it where the leaves are coming back in spring. He thought if you see the leaves go away, it would be fun for them to come back in spring. And I was like, that's a fun idea. I like that idea. So I recolored the autumn sprites to the spring colors and inverted the order. There are a few gardening things I did, like the dirt gets watered when it rains or snows, and the flower changes to a dead flower if it's the wrong season. I have to really refine the gardening system, but still these two tests were fun to add. And the final thing I've done is I added a placeholder rain sound for when it rains, and I finally figured out how to turn it on and off. And so when it rains, it plays a rain sound. And that is everything I have done for the seasons and the weather and stuff at this point. I could be adding things later, like, you know, I can add like thunder or lightning or something. I do want to do something with the dried flowers. I have an idea, but I don't want to talk about it so no one gets attached before I decide I don't like it anymore, because that could happen. But I have things and I have ideas and things are happening. I have not forgotten about making devlogs for this. I hope you all enjoyed. This last clip is going to be me showing you off everything I've done in real time instead of like quickly edited clips. And yeah, okay, so here is everything we've got. You've pretty much seen it all, but I kind of just want to show it all at once. So like I said, I make these spawn the weather effects in. This deletes the weather effects, which by the way I forgot to add initially, and I was wondering why is my game slowing down. It's because nothing was deleting. So make sure you have your system stuff in place so nothing breaks. So as you can see, we have rain, and it's saying what season it is, what the weather is, and the day of the week, and the date. And you can walk around the trees, because you know the Z order thing I did a while back, which I forgot to mention in the voiceover. All of the leaf piles also have Z order now. So if we do this, you can see the tree is coming in. Also, my day-night cycle is going off. That's why the colors are changing subtly. I also forgot to mention I have a layer effect where it's a little more moody looking when it's raining. I could actually turn that up a bit. And you see the leaves are coming in. And then we're going to go to summer. And then autumn. And we will go to a day where the leaves are falling. These will all be changed once I know what all the trees I'll have. So these are yellow, so there'll be a yellow leaf. I want to have at least an orange and maybe a brown or a green. We'll see what I do. But that's what the leaves will look like, and then it slowly deteriorates over time. See, it's more noticeable with this color that it's more foggy when it's raining. See how the leaves are going away. And then here, it spawns into leaf piles, and we have the leaves falling in random spots. And yes, the leaf piles are, you can go behind and around everything. I am in the background learning how to make trees kind of go slightly transparent, because I hate that Fields of Mystery it doesn't do that, and I want to have that, so I will get that working eventually. Then, you know, deteriorate some more. So like having no leaves. Oh, that was a little bundle of leaves, just whee! Yeah. And then we can go to final day of the month, just so we can like see the next season and that it works from inside the house. So see, it says sunny. It's nighttime, but it's the sunny day, and it's autumn, and it's the 28th, and it's Sunday. And once we go to bed, it is, oh, it's snowing today. So it's snowing, it's winter, it's the first of the month, and it is Monday. And you can see that the weather is weathering. One thing that I put a subtitle on top, but I don't know if anyone saw it, is if you go out and it's not a season, not a weather effect happening. Right now, you see the residual of that weather effect. But when I get the tweens worked out for going places, it'll look like this. And by the time I have that tween done, it'll be a little slower. All that stuff will be off the screen. You won't notice it. So I have thought of that. It's a work in progress. The only thing I can't really show off is the flower growing and changing, because I'm trying to fix the gardening system right now and it's broken. But I can show you that the dirt will get wet when it snows. See, it's snowing and the dirt is wet. Snow was inspired by Fields of Mystria, because I was like, I was trying to figure out how gardening worked in winter, and then I noticed that it actually treats it like rain. So yeah. And if we go to spring, you can see that's dry, and then we'll go to rainy day, and now it's wet. Like I said, I can't show the flower in real time because I kind of broke the gardening system while trying to fix it. I'm trying to like get everything to work together now, including an inventory, but all that is for another day, another vlog, another season, if you will. But I got a lot done. To me, it doesn't feel like a lot, but I know if you're watching this, it is actually a lot done. And yeah, that is it. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next devlog. Bye!